Oh, I got a good one on this. Nolan, you're gonna blush. I'm gonna quote you.
Oh
Are
boy.
you ready? I'm not gonna
Yep.
quote you exactly because I can't remember exactly what you said, but essentially said something along the lines of, "If you want to buy a house and you are financially stable and ready to purchase that house and you can afford it and maintain the payments, buy your house.
Yep.
Don't wait. If you can't afford the house, don't buy it. If you can, you should buy it because it's impossible to time the market. It is next to impossible. And if you look at real estate as a long-term investment, not a I'm going to buy it and sell it in a year and make a bunch of money, but if you look at it long term, you're going to make your money back on it.
Yep.
But
I think that, yeah, and like you guys are right. Like if it's affordable and you can do it, it's so easy because right now the rental market is crazy too in specific areas where rents before were a lot less. So if you're in you're a young family with two kids and you want to rent a place in Nanaimo and a small single family house, you're 3 grand a month.
Yep.
So what does 3 grand a month get me? Well, that probably gets me enough to buy the home or the townhouse or the half duplex that I want. And instead of spending $3,000 a month, which just poof disappears, at least if my payment is $3,000 a month, 12 or 1,400 of that is going to my principal every month. So even if the
yeah,
house never goes up in value, who cares? Within 25 years, if you just write regular monthly payments and the and the rates stay the same, it's paid off.
Yep.
So that's just for me. I'm a math guy. So
Yeah.
I think in short, it's basically if you can afford to buy the house and you want to buy the house, buy the house.
Yeah.
You
Pretty
know.
much, eh? If and again, we talked a lot about risk with respect to selecting mortgages, and I think that also plays a significant role.
Yes.
Is like
Yeah.
if the house that I buy is it a 10-year play, and if I am buying it on a 10-year play, am I going to be able to afford it and be able to maintain that property without going into foreclosure between now and 10 years from now? Because I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, 10 years into a mortgage, 10 years into owning a property, things start to look a lot different after you've had 10 years of getting used to it and 10 years of income
Yep.
increases and all of those things. So, I
one
think
of the
getting
things
in.
that I always told Miles, I said, if you ever get stuck, rent the house out, move back home with us. Like there's always
Wait,
something we
what?
can do. Yeah, I did. I say that out loud. Damn, I said it
Oh, me and
again.
Quinn are moving back
Mm,
over the moment that kid's born.
I know.
We're bringing us, our baby, and our dog. You better finish the top of the garage.
Wait until you see the expenses on that new baby.
That's
Those
you know
things
what
are
it's
not cheap.
everyone keeps telling me they're like, you think your mortgage is expensive right now. You just wait until the baby's born. That's gonna blow it out of the water. To which
Oh,
I,
yeah.
Weddings,
yeah.
university, and
Oh,
that comes into play too, right? Like
yeah.
when we're moving into our first house, what do we have to plan for? Well, right now we're just planning for today, but that's where sitting down and going through your budget and figuring stuff out because everything changes every year, right?
Exactly. So when the baby's born, we're gonna rent out this house and move back home with Greg.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving you the baby presents anymore. It's our ASPs, right?
Perfect.
Nice.
See, that's another thing we could talk about. We got to get off the topic of babies, or else this episode's going to go on for another 2 hours.
I know.
Well, let's not do that then. No, if I go back and do it all over again and I look at the first property I bought as with a partner in a relationship, I'd probably go back and reduce the amount that I bought by a couple $100,000. And we always use like 39% of income going towards mortgage costs, including taxes and heat. I'd probably go back and reset that for myself at 25 to 30%. And I'd either do
Yeah.
that by buying a smaller house or buying a similar sized house, but buying something that had a legal suite that I could rent out the basement or something like that.
I
Because
got a quick question before we,
Mhm.
move on here. Nolan, how old were you when you bought your first house?
So the very first property that I owned or that I wrote an offer on, I speculated. I was 18 or 19 years old. I took possession of it
Wow.
when I was 20, and then sold it. Yeah, ring ring, and then I sold it about.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. I can fix that. And then I and then I sold it. I sold it in October of 2000 and well, no, let me go back on this. I sold it in October of 2005, and the real estate market in Calgary went through the roof in January of 2006. And between October and June, the difference was it was the difference between selling it for $320,000 and $450,000. It was
Wow.
$130,000 in basically 6 months. And keep in mind, I came out of an economics degree, and I was looking at the market going, I'm pretty smart. This thing's got to crash. It makes no sense. Housing prices are too high. Interest rates are too high. Income to price ratio. That's why I always get hung up on income to price ratio. I'm like, there's no way that this thing isn't going to crash. And then the market goes through the roof, and it's never gone back down to where it was. So I made that mistake of trying to time the market, and ultimately sold a condo for way, way, way less than I should have, because I thought I was being smarter than everybody else. And then I think it took another 2 years after that before I jumped back into the market. And I missed out on a pretty significant amount of price gains in the time I was out of it, because I also waited for it to come back down, which it never did.
And that really plays into that statement you made earlier, that it's, and I firmly believe that it's impossible to time the market.
Yep.
Sorry,
go ahead.
It doesn't matter when you buy, it's that you buy.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, what are you going to say, Nolan?
Oh, and I was a mortgage broker at the time, maybe a year or two into it. And I wanted the absolute lowest rate. So I got myself a nice little variable rate mortgage with something that was new to the industry at that time, a bona fide sale clause. So I made every mistake I possibly could on those first 2 transactions. It was brutal.
But look at what you learned out of it. Yeah. And now you can pass that knowledge on to your customers so they don't have to make the same mistakes.